we have here is a couple of Super Sniper scopes from SWFA, and just to give you a quick rundown of what we're doing and why we made this video is there was a scope comparison on the Hide a couple months ago in which I was comparing another scope with a Super Sniper, and the only experience I had with the Super Sniper to date was an old 16 power that I had many years ago. So I was quickly told by a lot of people in the thread, hey, these new ones aren't like the old ones. Chris and Brady sent me some PMs, hey, you're really comparing apples to oranges here. We understand the scope you were talking about is a great scope, but we really think that these are on par now with some of these other contenders. And, in which I was kind of cynical and replied, well, it's a Super Sniper, how much can you have revamped it? So anyway, evolution of the conversation went to Chris and Brady saying, hey, let us send you a couple scopes, and you test them out, shoot them for a while, keep them for a couple months, tell us what you think, send them back, we want your honest opinion. If you don't like them, tell us you don't like them. If you like them, tell them you do. Tell us what you don't like about them, tell us what you do like about them. And as a consumer, and dealing with SWFA in the past like I have, they've always been great. It's a great company. They're really, Frank has used the term that they're one of the good guys, and I really agree with that in the industry. But you really can't ask for more than that, is that they just wanted to get their product in my hands to show me that I was wrong. So anyway, I said, okay, that'd be great. And at first this was supposed to be like a private thing. I was just going to take them for a couple weeks, a month or so, shoot them a little bit and just tell them what I thought about them. Well, that kind of morphed into, I was like, well, hey, I've got these things. I was really impressed right out the box when I opened them. So I said, hey, why don't you let me keep them for a couple months and really put them through the paces? They were fine with that. They said, keep them as long as you need. Just tell us what you think. So that's where we are right now. I've got both these scopes. I've got the 10x42 HD as well as the 3 to 9x42. They also sent a Bobro mount, quick release mount, which is on this 3 to 9 right here. And what I plan to do is, I've got some rifles I'm going to test here with. This is a GA Precision 6.5 Creedmoor, very accurate rifle. This is a kind of a semi-custom Savage 10FP, very accurate rifle as well. As well as we got some other friends of mine locally that are wanting to kind of get in on this, and they have an Accuracy International and an FN, some very, very accurate rifles. So we have a lot of good host rifles to try this on. And the reason I say that is because I think it's important to have a good, accurate base rifle if you're going to do accuracy tests on a scope, because if you're going to condemn a scope's tracking, you better dang sure be sure that it's the scope and not the rifle. So anyway, quick rundown of what I plan on doing for you guys. I'm going to do some objective testing, which is I'm going to make a chart. I'm going to check the subtensions of the reticle to make sure they're subtended correctly, calibrated right. I'm going to check the tracking. I'm going to do a ladder test, up and down, probably go up to 13, 14, 15 mils and back down. I'm going to do a box test, which a lot of you are used to, where you read I'm just going to put a bunch of dots up, read them in the reticle, dial it and shoot it and see how it does. And going to test this Bobro mount, on and off, return to zero, KOI shift and all that jazz. Really interested in the Bobro mount. It's a really nice piece. But anyway, some of the other rifles we got here, we have an M1A Scout and an M1A loaded Springfield. Chris said that this 3 to 9 was kind of really designed with the M1As in mind. So he wanted me to try them on those and see what I thought, give an opinion. So I'll let y'all know what I think about how good of a scope it is for that platform. Right out the box, I can say this, glass is great in this HD. Glass is good in here, but you can really tell that HD difference. It's not like they're just sticking HD on there and saying it's better. The glass really pops in this HD. It's really nice. Turrets, nice and audible. They're not mushy. They return back to the exact hash mark they're supposed to be on. You don't have any of that in-between mess. Very good turrets. Parallax to adjust down to 50 yards. I thought that was a great feature on here for some of you guys putting them on trainer rifles and all that. One thing I didn't like about 3.9s that didn't have a parallax adjustment on it not a huge deal since it is just a 3-9, but I thought it'd be kind of nice. But you know, since I guess the magnification zoom's where the parallel latch should be, I guess that kind of omitted it. But anyway, one of the only real complaint I got on the bow bro mount is that these two screws, you have to take this latching mechanism off to get a torque wrench on those to put them at proper spec. Other than that, it is a very, very nice piece of machinery. I mean, they've really done very clean machine work. It's anodized nice. I like the one lever latch. What I do like about it is when you put it on, it locks up solid. I mean, it really feels like you're putting it where it needs to be. So anyway, looking forward to testing on that. And as well as we're going to throw the 10X HD, we're going to throw it on the 50 BMG. And while I'm not going to blow them up with tannerite or throw them off the platform, you know, these aren't my scopes, and I need to send them back in a decent shape. I did ask Chris, you know, how much abuse he wanted me to give him, and I told him I had a BMG here. He said they'll handle the BMG all day long. So we're going to put it on there, probably put 40, 50 rounds through it, put them back on one of these other rifles and see how, if it affected anything, which I don't expect it to. So other than that, looking forward to a good review. I'm not going to say review, we'll say it's evaluation. Because I think that there's a big market for these price point scopes right here, and I know a lot of you probably have questions of you know, what to expect. So I'm going to try to cover everything you might expect if you were wanting to order one of these, so you'll be an informed buyer. So anyway, should be a good little evaluation and run, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, right here we did just kind of a box test. I did 3 rounds at 100. One got a little squirrely. Came up here, I can't remember what I dialed here, but I dialed it and held down there. You see it's hitting where it needs to here. Hits close to where it needed to there. This was all milling off a mil dot. I do know the top one, we did 8.8 mils, so this went from extreme from that to 8.8, and I think this was maybe 2 mils on the extreme left and right. So scope's tracking good enough for me. We're going to cover these up yet again. You can tell we've been using this board a lot, and do some work with the 3 to 9 with the bow bro mount on and off. Okay, here we got the results from the ladder test. Quick note, ignore this shot right there. That was actually when I was bore sighting the rifle. We had one get way over here from the bore sight. But here we go, I have my group at the bottom. This is actually 5 shots in the center. I couldn't, that was from an earlier grouping that we had done just to kind of confirm 0. And then what I did was to start the test, I did just 4 shots real quick over here. Dialed a mil left in it, which I probably really should have just left out because they're all kind of favoring left up. But as you can see, here's 1, 2 mils, 3 mils, 4, and then all the way up, 7, 8, 9. Other than some pretty crappy shooting, I would say that all the way to 14 mils, this scope tracks perfectly. What I will say is on the way down, you'll see in the video where I twisted on the turrets a whole lot, tried to find this top stop, bottom, and then what I did was I came back here and just threw 3 rounds. That was my first, second, third right there. So return to 0, pass. Tracking, I say that's a pass. You know, give a little wiggle room for the shooter, or in my case, a lot of wiggle room, and I think it's doing what it's supposed to do. Okay, just did the ladder test, went up to 14 mils on it. Didn't really do a box test as far as going left and right with it. We've already done that. We just went to test just elevation. And what I did was a 5-shot group at the bottom, I think 4 or 5. And then I just 1 shot per mil all the way up, holding center on the bottom and just dialing the elevation in. Now we're at 14 mils. I'm going to turn it back down 0, and I've got my 0 marked like I used to do my wheel poles with the just colored out the lines that doesn't irrelevant. But here I'm just gonna twist on these knobs some more, and what I want to do is really just come all the way up to the stop. Alright, that's maxed out on the elevation. I actually hit the stop. I'm gonna come all the way back down. Alright, and that's bumping on the bottom. Come back up. Alright, that's the top. What I'm going to try to do is find that dead space at the top and hit it. And come back and see how well it returns to 0. Now I'm going to shoot on the same 0 that I started with on the ladder test, and we'll see how it does.